Stadium for the Charity Shield, the first trophy of the new season, traditionally contested by the two teams that triumphed back in May. Blackburn Rovers were the champions, but the FA Carling Premiership only decided in the last few dramatic moments.
I don't believe any of this. It's just too much like a fairy story. They're 2-1 down and they're embracing. They've lost here, but they are champions.
Everton were the FA Cup winners, 1 goal deciding the final against Manchester United.
Still Matt Jackson. Oh, off the crossbar and out from Stewart. And then in. Right out.
Well, it's only 12 weeks since Dave Watson lifted the cup, but the Littlewoods Pools FA Charity Shield is the curtain raiser to a new season. A showpiece occasion that offers Blackburn and Everton the chance to put another trophy on the mantelpiece. Our match commentators are Trevor Brooking and Barry Davis.
Whatever the outcome, it's celebration time for the man whose 34 goals led Blackburn to the title. Alan Shearer is 25 years old today. And the man whose header won the cup for Everton, Paul Rideout, he's 31 years old tomorrow. As for the teams, well, international calls claim a couple of Blackburn regulars. Nice, though, to see Kevin Gallagher back after twice breaking his right leg. And the absence of the combative Colin Hendry brings an old and interesting role for Chris Sutton.
Yes, of course, Blackburn filled in last year with Tony Gow for a season. Then Ian Pearce came in and did very well. But Chris Sutton started off his career at Norwich as a defender, and I'm sure he'll look quite as accomplished as he did in those younger days when he reverts back to a defensive role this afternoon.
Everton field 8 of their cup final lineup, with the captain, Dave Watson, who was man of the match at the final, starting his comeback from a foot operation by having a place on the bench. Vinnie Samways gets a chance, as does 20-year-old Tony Grant, whose second full appearance for the club comes at Wembley.
Well, of course, not any appearance from their two recent signings. We say signings, Kanchelskis we're not sure about. Craig Short as well in defence, so it gives an opportunity for Gary Ablett to show his versatility. And it looks like a sort of fairly accomplished midfield. 5 people in there, really all breaking, I'm sure. Tony Grant and Vinnie Samways in particular, to join Paul Rideout, who's going to start off up front by himself.
Well, it's an interesting thought. Where does the director of football for Blackburn sit? No surprise, of course, he's on the bench. Joe Royal and Willie Donachie looking to build on their exploits from last May. The referee is Dermot Gallagher from Oxfordshire. His 2 linesmen, Dave Crick of Surrey and Tony Bates of Staffordshire, with the 4th official, Graham Cole from Hertfordshire. So the holders of the 2 major domestic trophies enter a season which will make a sizable hole in 2 summers. But it's a season keenly anticipated for many reasons, and a pleasing start now would certainly be welcome. Last year there wasn't too much charity around in this fixture, and it proved to be a rather unhappy omen. Neville Southall, starting where he started in the cup final, as the man who will be trying to beat him today, partnered now with his old compatriot Mike Newell. Bright sunshine. Forecasters said it wouldn't be quite so warm, and it's certainly warm at Wembley. First clearance by Tim Flowers. Shearer is a good header by Newell. Offside given against Ripley. First run of a winger brought to an abrupt end by a waving linesman.
And the ball's played, I think, is almost level, and a bit unlucky there, I would have thought, Blackburn.
Just in time, Kenner. So Kenner played 9 games in the Championship at the end of the season, having come from Southampton. No, offside.
Yeah, the great thing about quite a few of the signings, Kenny Dalglish, is that they've got players who can play in various positions. Kenner can play in both full-back positions and both flank as an attacking midfielder if need be, so very useful. Well, I don't think David Batty's going to make himself too popular there with the Everton supporters, unnecessary.
It's warm enough without all that. Limpar and Batty, the challenge was from behind, and then Batty went on to play the ball. Gets a moment in the shade, which for him and any other player will be welcome. We understand the temperature down on the pitch is in the high 90s.
Well, he's going to have a bearing, isn't it, on the pace of the match at this early stage of the season. You always use this as a warmer upper game, and certainly with probably 6 or 7 pre-season matches behind you already, you just need this sort of match to sharpen you up, but in these temperatures it's going to be done in bursts.
Yes, they will tell us later in the season that they play too much football. They've already had the start of the competition to join the rich and mighty. Having to work hard at the start here. There's an offside flag. And indeed, we've already had the start of the British Challenge in Europe. And here we are. Still no decision in Test cricket. Athletics at world level taking place. Plenty of goals still to come. Horn is down the middle. The best of moments for Rideout to stand on the ball. And a real jump to reclaim by Horn. And Horn and Sherwood. And Sherwood better be very careful indeed. Missed 6 games last season, Sherwood, and they were all because of suspension. Quite a contest going on in the middle of the field. It was not a good challenge by Horn, but all the way through here there was a hand in by Horn and a bit of a rollover. All incredibly juvenile. We had wrestling in the middle of a football match. Parkinson. Oof. A bit too close for comfort, but Southall knew where it was going. Mike Newell, who looked for a moment as though he was going to test him.
Good speculative shot. Was always, I think, just going over the crossbar. A good one with the left foot. Just takes and distracts everyone away from that midfield battle that's going on with Sherwood and Batty against Horn and Parkinson. A few biting tackles. I suppose a charity shield isn't the ideal name for this particular game in the opening 15 minutes.
Horn. Batty in the way. Unsworth challenge. Play continues. Referee has a quick look at the injured party. It was Mike Newell. Oh dear, Samways now. And the referee shows Samways the yellow card. Well, he had to show somebody a card sooner or later, and it's a little surprising. Perhaps he feels that charitable ought to be his action. Horn. Limpar left side. Samways is in the middle, so is Rideout. This is Hinchcliffe. Horn. Grant. And again, challenge really over-eager. And this time, the yellow card is shown to Gallagher, who looks a little surprised, and it is ironic with some of the challenges we've seen. That was an impetuous challenge, but the 2 players booked have been among the more innocent.
I couldn't agree more. The two most innocuous challenges from Gallagher and now Samways have both ended up with a yellow card.
On. On again. Nice turn away from Batty. Looking for Grant. This young man will have enjoyed his start though. Kept a cool head. Just couldn't quite make the contact he wanted here though.
He's filling a job wide on the right, Tony Grant. I think he'd be happier as a creative midfielder and a passer to be more central, but of course no Kanchelskis and no Graham Stewart, who could often play wide on the right, so he's doing a good job. And at the moment Everton having more of the play, even though it is a bit more disjointed than we would like.
Stewart likely to be back in a couple of weeks in the injured list. It's one of the changes from the cup final side. Dave Watson, of course, and Matt Jackson. Duncan Ferguson wouldn't have been available because he was with the Scotland squad. They wanted to sub in the cup final, but he had to pull out of that squad because of a groin strain. Batty. Pace again, Mike Enna, getting him out of trouble. Briefly on the wrong side of his man. Hinchcliffe. Good try by Rideout. And the beating of Chris Sutton there.
He springs well Rideout, because if you see him sort of dressed in his casual wear, he's not that tall, but he just jumps and hangs above Sutton and just couldn't quite keep it down below that crossbar, but he does time it well, gets up before the defender Sutton is able to. Sutton will know all about that, getting above defenders, but this time he's on the receiving end.
Nice chest by Sherwood. Pierced his header. Gallagher. Another good tackle by Horn, but it was simply a question of timing. Sherwoods. Shearer. Southall getting away with the rather poor clearance. Level. Ripley. Three waiting for the cross. Which was met by Barrett, only for the so. Just wouldn't come down for him. Well, we passed the halfway point of the first half. One hopes it will get better, but the feeling at the moment is it's a shame we can't start all over again. Sherwood. That was a pretty close run thing as far as Everton were concerned.
Bit of a wild slice clearance from Horn first of all, and it was Unsworth there who got back and made the saving tackle against Tim Sherwood.
Grant. Samways loses out to Batty. This is Sutton. Ripley. Newell. Shearer far side, nobody filling the hole in the middle. It's a good challenge by Ablett. Kenner is the player who's gone down, and the ball immediately put out of play so he can receive some attention. The referee now will ask him whether he requires a trainer, and if he does, the treatment, if possible, should be off the pitch. It's a new directive this season. They were very quick to see that he'd gone down uncomfortably.
He's turned something over, hasn't he? It wasn't a kick or anything from Anders Lindfra, just turned awkwardly.
Blackburn down to 10 for the moment. Troy Harford, who's on his feet. Speculative. Not a bad effort.
Billy Samways running out wide. That was the pass to the reverse one. Without a recognised right back at the moment, you've got to make it tell. That was a long way out. Looks as if Anders Lindfar's been the same hairdresser as Tim Sherwood and Kevin Gallagher, Jeff Kenner, as a few of them had their locks shorn.
Won by Unsworth. And the yellow card is shown as we look at Mark Atkins as the probable substitute. This is the reverse angle of why Tim Sherwood was booked. Could have gone down for tree felling. And it is to be Mark Atkins as Jeff Kenner is taken by the stretcher to the dressing room. It's an unfortunate start for him, indeed for Blackburn, and he'd been one of their better players. News of Jeff Kenner, as we could see from the way he went down. The problem is a right ankle. He's gone to have an x-ray to see if there's anything more than just the twist and sprain. That's a good challenge. Atkins couldn't quite get away. Samways. Right out.
Well nodded down by Batty, but what a relief at the other end to see that man Mark Atkins actually run beyond the strikers and take a chance. Everyone's been sort of staying goal side and it's been a stalemate. You've got to have midfield people going beyond the front men and trying to occupy the central defenders and open them up. He didn't make the most of it, hasn't quite got the pace, but at least he was willing to do it.
Scored some useful goals last season. 6 of them coming forward from midfield. Shearer. Newell is the man to find. Good save. Didn't get to Newell. It went to Sherwood, and Sherwood didn't accept the opportunity. Neville Southall falling on it, just as those behind his goal with Blackburn colours were about to shout goal. Unsworth caught out. Shearer pulled it back. Ablett got half a touch to it. In came Sherwood. Good stop.
Should have scored there, Tim Sherwood. Good run by Shearer. Unsworth committed himself, sold him, he got rode around, and then as the cross came in, Ablett on his weaker right foot missed the ball. Tim Sherwood, although stretching, only needed a decent contact, and from that distance, Neville Southall wouldn't have had a chance. So a bit of an escape there for Everton.
Now Hinchcliffe at the other end. Oh, goodness me, Flowers. Oh, well, may he smile. But he won't want that replayed too often. It was actually, I think, too simple for him. Just got across, covered it comfortably, and then it spun away. Unfortunately for him, it was the right side of the post, which was the left side from his point of view. Horn. Unsworth. Adkins. Offside Shearer. It's now the time that Mr. Gallagher has allowed for stoppages.
Look at how everyone's running away from the midfield, man. Used to be a time when forwards, one would go beyond the defender and one would drop short, and then you could play those little triangles that at the moment is missing from this opening 45 minutes.
Extraordinary you should have to make such an observation at this level. Tends to instruct schoolboys, don't everybody run away from the ball.
You have to make the point, it's you know, Charity Shield, the players are still getting their match fitness, but it's the basic pattern of play that's more concerning.
Away by Pearce. Well, it gets good applause. The whistle at the end of the half, one wonders for what reason. Sherwood having the best opportunity of the first 45 minutes. Southall dropping on the ball to deny him. It's a blank score sheet, and we really didn't see much football in the first half of this Charity Shield. Dave Watson on as a substitute for Everton, as the referee prepares to get the second half of this Littlewoods Pools FA Charity Shield underway. Watson on in place of Tony Grant. Ablett has moved to the left-back position, which presumably pushes Hinchcliffe forward, and Limpar indeed already appearing on the right side. So they're back more to their cup final permutation.
Yes, young Tony Grant had done nothing wrong, but Andy Hinchcliffe can play left side midfield or left back. He's gone into the midfield area. Gary Ablett to left back. I still think his best position is central defence, but it was a bit lopsided with Unsworth and Ablett both left-footers in the first half, and of course David Watson, without sort of any pre-season games, will need this second half to get some of that match fitness ready for the new season.
Season for Everton, which opens against Chelsea. Hoddit and company Saturday at Stamford Bridge. To renew rivalries, Watson with a certain Mark Hughes, who we met, of course, in the cup final last year. Here's Hinchcliffe. Free kick is Everton's way. Well, it's not Everton's way, it's Blackburn's way.
I think the offside flag had gone up a little bit earlier. It was a bit late being given, though, and certainly right out, though, at the moment, still up there by himself. And I think Everton, having lost the last 10 minutes of that opening period, will need to get forward and join in much quicker than they were doing. Oh, he's got Amakachi on the bench who could bring on as well, Joe Rowe.
This is now a 14-a-side game. 3 substitutes allowed. On this occasion, to be chosen from 5. The 73rd match in total for the Charity Shield. 24 club names on the Shield. They include Everton and Blackburn. Blackburn winning just once, Everton 7 times outright, and once shared with Liverpool. And some other winners too. The professionals used to play the amateurs. 6 matches, professionals winning out 4-2, but they were twice beaten by 6 goals, so possibly brought an end to that. Steady Batty continuing in the right back position. Gallagher again, neatly done. Shearer comes in. There was a break on the left side, but for some reason Stuart Ripley was very reluctant to get forward there on the left side. It's a good one over the top, just doesn't quite put Limpar in.
Limpar nearly got behind Lasso, but he covered well Lasso. At the other end, Kevin Gallagher a little bit happier down that right-hand flank. He and Ripley, of course, were on the other side in the first half, but Ripley's moved to the left, and Kevin Gallagher now coming on the right. And he is more naturally right-footed because neither of them really like to play down the left side, and Jason Wilcox, still recovering from injury himself, would be the natural left-footer normally.
So, almost got away with a pretty outrageous dummy then. The ball just didn't run quite far enough for him. Here's Shearer. Newell and Gallagher in the middle. Nobody there. Hinchcliffe. Samways. Now he's got 3 options. Right out left is the best. He decides. Limpar far side. Could have been nasty, but Miles grabbed it well, and not really enough made of the move. Good to see Lasso starting to take people on in the second period too. Good play by Newell. Atkins could have a pop. The goalkeepers are now being employed in the 12th minute of the second half. Match watched by a crowd of 40,145. Won't include those. This is Royal and Donachie. And the Jimmy Gabriel on the right. Next at the smallest crowd since the match came to Wembley in 1974. Here's Samways. Oh! But the crowd have got a goal in an unlikely fashion. Billy Samways almost looks a little embarrassed by it. Certainly Tim Flowers has got a bit of a ricochet because of the challenge. And Everton lead.
Well, he wasn't shooting, don't worry about that. He was put under pressure, was caught in 2 minds, and he just toe-ended it, and it flew into the far corner. I don't think Tim Flowers had much chance. A looping shot in the end, and somehow or other we've managed to get the ball in the net, not always by intent. And let's see if this does make it a much more entertaining remaining of the game.
So must have some sympathy for Tim Flowers. He could have done without that. Just toe poke there And it got a curl, and it just crept in inside the far post. Sympathy with Mr. Flowers. But Samways on the score sheet for Everton.
Ray Harper's got a decision now as to whether he changes his pattern, because Chris Sutton playing at the back so far, he could bring on a defender such as Nicky Marker, who's still on the bench, and push Sutton up and to renew his partnership with Alan Shearer. Perhaps that is an option in the next few minutes he might be thinking about.
Sutton, Batty, Pearce. So has been used much more as an instigator of attacks in the second half. Ripley couldn't get it through to him. He might now. Shearer up. So is Newell. So is Gallagher. So takes on Barrett.
That was good defending, Earl Barrett. Held up two players. Ripley was inside, but so tried to go outside him, but a good block on the cross.
Shearer. Well, he kept his eye on the ball, but he couldn't make the shot accurate. Things away, not looking too happily at Hinchcliffe. Determination here from the Blackburn captain. He was well wide. Pearce, Ripley, Shearer, Sherwood, Southall's missed kick. At least he got it into space. Good spell this though from Blackburn. Atkins. Ripley. Seeing more and more of Ripley coming inside.
He turns well enough, loses his marker, then just panics, thinks he has to rush it.
Blackburn's free kick. And Neville Southall, still with a clean sheet, had 7 in the last 8 games at the back end of last season. There's Bobby Mims, Blackburn number 2. Limpar, Barrett, Limpar again. Wide out is the only attacker. Next player is a good 40 yards away. Well, perhaps 30.
Yes, Everton, having gone ahead, there's no need to change their system or bring Amakachi on at this stage, because they've got their lead. They can afford to keep their 5 men in midfield, but it does mean that, again, as you said, right out is their only option. So it's up to Blackburn to take the game to Everton and try and get this equaliser. But at the moment, Everton defending well enough and look as if they're coping okay.
Just under 19 minutes for Blackburn to save the day. Ablett. Hinchcliffe. Up on the win, met by Lasso. given away by Gallagher. Samways. Determination from right out. Hinchcliffe. Horn. Promising this for Everton. Limpar. Offside. Took too long to come back to the middle, and right out perhaps is making that very point.
Good bit of passing by Everton, though. Good to see him thread it through the midfield, spread play, and just try and create that opening.
Horn. Samways. Pearce. Foul by Limpar. Shearer is far post. Now moving a bit towards the centre. Lasso having too much to do. And he got a bit cross about it, I think. And is rightly booked for the challenge on Barrett, which was wild and ill-tempered after Barrett had got the better of him.
Not before time, I think, Ramler. So he's had 3 or 4 of these lunges after tackle right down the Achilles of Earl Barrett. No question a yellow card was merited.
Samway's goal still divides the teams. This is how he got it. In curious fashion, the challenge by Pearce, the curl on the ball, leaving Tim Flowers stranded. Scorer fortunate, goalkeeper unlucky. Down to Atkins. Oh, he took 2 touches to bring it onto his right foot and was closed down as a result. Well, welcome to the game, Nicky Marker. Got the ball and Parkinson at exactly the same time. Unsworth, but the wrong way, and it's a corner. Everton end in sunshine, the Blackburn end in shadow. Makel. Pearce not too far away from it. Atkins. Limpar took it down superbly. Here's Horn. Only really one pass on, and he just had to hold on to the ball. Offside. Nice chest, comes down to Atkins. Parkinson took it away. Hinchcliffe, dummies to go, and Makel dispossesses him briefly. Ablett. Curing the lily a little bit, it's given away now. Batty. Chased by Samways. Atkins. Shearer. No foul.
Actually, if his first touch or control had been better there, he would have been clear. Sort of Watson just went towards Sutton. It went over the top of him, and as he tried to take it on his chest and turn with it, he knocked it back in and enabled Watson to get the tackle.
Lasso. Plenty of Everton supporters there will scramble to collect it. Plenty of youngsters in the crowd. Quite an expensive season for supporters who want to follow these teams in Europe. Watson said it's mine. It's turned away by Hinchcliffe in the end. A late challenge by Sutton. Sutton gets the flick. Met half by Unsworth. Bit of climbing. And it's a free kick to Blackburn. Pressure showing on Everton faces. 5 minutes left. Shearer, but straight into the arms of Southall.
They're a long way out, isn't it? Neville Southall standing that side. He hasn't got a hat on either, is he? Similar position to where Tim Flowers, one bounced off his chest. But no problems there with Neville Southall.
Batty. Michael, Batty. Yeah, dived in by Hinchcliffe. Shearer. Sutton is up, Atkins is up. No foul, says the referee, and Shearer doesn't quite believe the referee's opinion. And he's joined by several others from Blackburn Rovers, but Mr. Gallagher's not going to change his mind.
Well, it was a bit of a clumsy challenge from Dave Watson. He's got away from the first tackle. Alan Shearer is waiting for the contact. There is a slight contact. He goes down, I have to say, looking for the penalty. But when you do lunge in like that, I've seen penalties given for that, definitely. I can understand them looking to green. I think Dave Watson was a bit reckless just to make any sort of contact at all. But it's not given. The referee's decision is final, and the score is still 1-0.
So the denial of a penalty denies, for the moment at least, a penalty competition. Just over a minute and a half left. That's a bit of stoppage time. Lissow. As ever with the British game, there's no lack of effort. Blackburn trying all they can to get back. Everton supporters want the final whistle. Michael. Sutton. Just won by David Unsworth. Inside the last minute on our watch. Michael. Lissow. Oh, he's away. Hinchcliffe's header. And Limper misjudged it. He felt Lissow made a back, but the referee has given the free kick. Stanley Parks joining Ray Harford on his feet. Driven free kick, met by Paul Rideout. Now playing stoppage time. Referee looked at his watch once. And Neville Southall in no hurry at all to retrieve the ball.
I mean, he's not been the best of games, I have to say, but psychologically it'd be good for Everton to have beaten the champions Blackburn, because if you look at their bench, you know, Dave Watson came on at half-time, but you've got Amakachi, Eberl and Jackson still sitting there. The likes of Craig Short and then Kanchelskis if the deal ever gets completed, and then Graham Stewart, Duncan Ferguson. It's quite a solid-looking squad now. A lot of options for Joe Roll. I don't think he's got any worries about relegation as he had last season, whereas Blackburn perhaps not quite as fluent as at times last season, and they've got to get better.
To Everton, the victory. To Vinnie Samways, the goal. Although he would not, I'm sure, tell you that that's quite what he intended. A hopeful poke that curled in past Tim Flowers. And Alan Shearer feeling that he should have had the opportunity from the penalty spot to wipe that goal out, as he was challenged by Dave Watson. But the referee thought otherwise, and one goal sufficeth for Everton, as it did in the FA Cup final. The losers go first. Tim Sherwood be hoping for better fortune in the matches to come in Europe, and we wish them well in that. Ian Pearce there, who made the challenge on Samways. Still don't know whether he actually made contact with the ball, though. Plenty for some old campaigners to talk about. Unlucky Tim Flowers had a worrying moment in the first half, but could do very little about that one that beat him. Well, winning is a nice habit, and so is collecting trophies. And Dave Watson climbs the Wembley steps again as the winning captain. On this occasion, he only played for half the match. There, the trophy awaits him. 22nd playing of this match at Wembley. And Everton win it for the 8th time outright. They once shared it with Liverpool. It's a good start to the season for Joe Royle's men from Goodison Park. One trophy on the mantelshelf already. Presentation by James Swenson-Taylor, the Group Board Director of the Littlewoods organisation.
Joe, many congratulations. 2 Wembley visits as the Everton manager and 2 wins, not bad.
Great start. It looked a long way off, certainly last November when I joined, but it's been quite lucky again to like Wembley.
What did you think of the game?
Traditional pre-season game, really. Never really got to full tempo, although it was very passionate. Very, very hot out there. It was always going to be hard for the players to maintain the pace. All you can say is at the end that we scored the goal that mattered.
One very controversial moment. Dave Watson appeared to bring down Alan Shearer. If you'd been refereeing, would you have given the penalty?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't refereeing, and I think we have to be a little bit fair to referees here. I think it looked a possible penalty, but, you know, as I said to Alan after the game, he's going to have to be a little bit fair and say that sometimes if you try and manipulate situations, they'll go against the other side. And he is England's top player, there's no doubt about that, and I'm full of admiration. But at times he does try and manipulate situations for himself.
How do you describe the mood in the Blackburn Rovers camp as you go into a new season, given what you achieved last season?
Well, I'd say it's about similar to last season. We've had probably a slightly better pre-season. I don't think we won a game last year coming into the league programme, but we've done quite well this year. Up until today, we hadn't lost a game. So, but we lost here last year and went on to win the league. So hopefully we can repeat that.
Do you think it will be harder to retain the Championship than it was to win it?
Well, it was incredibly hard to win it. I certainly felt it at the time, but it's going to be harder, extremely hard, I think, for us to retain it. But we'll just do what we did last year, which is approach every game the same way, positively, give our best, and hope it's good enough.
Just tell us about the goal. You meant to do it completely?
Well, it's a bit of luck as well, because I was getting a bit tired getting into the corner, and I looked across and I couldn't see anyone in there, and I just hit it. So lucky enough it went in the far corner, but I mean, I've got to say there was a bit of luck along the way as well.
So 1 goal, enough for Everton again, as it was in the cup final here 3 months ago. But Trevor, we've got to ask first of all, why was the match so poor?
Well, I think it was a fair indication the first 20 minutes. There were so many tackles going. It was almost like a battlefield, wasn't there? No space at all for anyone to put their foot on the ball. And I think, if you look at the Everton midfield, I mean, they've got 5 men, two out wide. They started, didn't they, with Grant and Limpay out wide, and Vinnie Samway's trying to join right out. But the 2 tacklers, Barry Horn and Joe Parkinson, I wouldn't fancy trying to get the ball down with them snapping at your heels. And that was a problem. And of course, then directly against them for Blackburn was David Batty and Tim Sherwood, and they got involved and got quite heated. And so there were a few challenges that I thought the referee could have sort of pinned down earlier with a yellow card or so. And in the end, Vinnie Samways and Kevin Gallagher got bookings for 2 tackles that I didn't think were as bad as what had gone before.
Yeah, so the game was rather smothered in midfield, but Everton's 5 would seem as though Joe Royal got it right, because his team won.
Well, I think when Duncan Ferguson doesn't play, as they did sort of the latter part of last season, and they did well, they played this system. It relies a lot on people breaking from midfield, and it's a hard job for Paul Rideout. I mean, I wouldn't think he would fancy and relish it doing too much during the season up there by himself. But of course, they're very dangerous at set pieces, and of course, a little bit of fortune about the goal today, but it does rely on people breaking. Sometimes, more often than not, it was Limpar, sometimes somebody from the back. But when they did break, they found themselves outnumbered. Rideout was the only option, so they didn't create that much apart from the goal. And of course, the defence is very tight and was the tail end of last season, and that means that they can win games with just the odd goal.
Yeah, just the odd goal. Vinnie Samways has admitted that there was an element of luck about it. You're in no doubt, are you?
Well, it was very lucky, wasn't it? I mean, it was one of those, it was bouncing up, and as an attacker, whether you're crossing or shooting, you want it to drop down a bit. But then he got closed down by Ian Pearce and almost sort of got hurried into doing something, and it looked like a toe-ender to me. He went through then Ian Pearce's legs. I don't think he got a touch, and just looped in beyond poor old Tim Flowers. And once it left his foot and we were right behind it, you thought that's going to end up in the back of the net off the post.
What are we to make of Blackburn? Because they are carrying the flag in the Champions Cup this season, and there wasn't a lot of confidence for them today, was there?
No, they weren't at their best. I think when they're playing well, they do get the ball out wide to the wide people. Today it was sort of Stuart Ripley and Kevin Gallagher. Kevin played more often than not on the left-hand side as Jason Wilcox is injured, but he's not naturally left-footed, and they didn't get it out to them early enough. The 2 fullbacks then liked to get forward. Graham Lasso did a bit second half, but they weren't getting the quality crosses into the likes of Shearer and Newell, although of course they need Chris Sutton as well, moved up from the back as quick as possible to partner him.
Yeah. Penalty?
I think so. It's one of those, he enticed the defender in. Dave Watson hasn't had that many games, and I think he did touch him. Alan Shearer, quality forward, waiting for that touch to go down for the penalty, but he didn't get it, and the scoreline was 1-0.
OK, thanks so much, Trevor. Well, the Premier League kicks off next Saturday after the most amazing summer of transfers. Some £87 million has changed hands, and you may appreciate a little reminder of just who's gone where.
I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you. Got my mind set on you. But it's gonna take money, a whole lot of spending money. It's gonna take plenty of money to do it right, child. It's gonna take time, whole lot of precious time. It's gonna take patience and time to do it, 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 to do it right, child. I got my mind set on you. 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 But
So some familiar faces will be appearing in different club colours next season. Match of the Day is set to bring you all the action from the Premier League. We've 4 programmes in the first 12 days of the season, starting, of course, with the opening matches next Saturday. For now, from Wembley, good night.